folks, JD here, and today we're looking at this. This is the Parrot swing. Quite a strange looking contraption. Okay, let's open her up. So we should have two little seals on the front here, which need to be opened. Actually, let's do it that way. Right, so this is what greets you. Two small boxes. So transmitter in one, quadcopter / aeroplane in the other. Okay, let's just get this all nice and tidy. Let's do this transmitter in a bit. Let's have a little look at this one first. Look at this. This looks really quite nice. So, again, the bottom seems to open like that. And there she is. Right, now, I can already see that these wings are a form of polystyrene. Okay, let's take this out and now let's have a proper look at it. Little accessory box as well as manuals as well. Right then, let's have a little look at this. Well, this is the quadcopter. Look at that, that's the front of it. This is the back of it. The top, underside. Now, as I said, when I took this out of the box, this is a form of polystyrene. It certainly feels like it. So, and also you can see how these wings would move as well. So they are, even though they are on securely, there's no extra assembly for me to do. They aren't. They a little bit of give is what these have, and obviously that's something I've got to be careful of in transit as well. Now, as you can see, the wings themselves, let's just center that properly, the wings themselves make up an X formation, the quadcopter itself sitting in between, and you've got the four motors then on the outside of each of the wings. Now holding the left wing on at the same particular angle as the right wing, we have these little pillars. Now these little pillars just hold the quadcopter, just hold the wings apart correctly and hold the right shape as well, so you wouldn't want these wings to become to fold in together as the quadcopter wouldn't fly correctly. Now, as you can notice on each of these wings as well, these motors are slightly at an angle. See, two there, and if I switch it over to the other side as well, you've got two there. See, ever so slightly at a weird, like almost like 45-degree angle. That is because this quadcopter is also a plane, so it takes off vertically, and then you can change it. You can hit a switch and then you can change that then to fly as a plane as well. But it has to land. From what I can see, it has to land and it has to take off vertically like this. Once you're up in the air, then you can either fly it as a quadcopter or you can hit a button and then change it as a plane and it will fly around like that. Now, that does intrigue me. I'm looking forward to giving this a test. But how about the design and what about this central sort of piece? Now, as you can see, it reminds me a lot like a butterfly, this particular quadcopter does. Now, in the middle, you have your main quadcopter. Now your quadcopter itself has two LEDs on the front. If we look at the back, this is where the battery connects into, as well as we have a micro USB port here for charging and a small camera there for taking photos. Now that is quite compact, so I'm guessing that I would imagine that this would be the front. This is how the quadcopter flies. This is the direction that it flies, this way, and then you can take photos from behind you. Is how I see this happening. Or also, as you've taken off, if you're in quadcopter mode, you can take photos directly underneath from what you directly underneath the quadcopter as well. Now, that does intrigue me. Hopefully that's going to work. We'll see when we take this out anyway. The quadcopter feels really quite sturdy, made of quite a thick-ish plastic, quite a nice sort of insectoid bulge underneath there as well. So its design does really remind me a lot of an insect, more so a butterfly. Now, there we go. So that is the quadcopter. One thing to say as well is this feels extremely light, extremely light. So any sort of wind, if you're in quadcopter mode, are going to use these particular wings as a form of rudder. So the wind's going to hit it and it is going to just move back left and right. So be careful that you don't take this out in any particular breeze at all, or you're going to be in for a bit of trouble, I would imagine. So there we go, put that down there. Okay, so let's have a little look at the transmitter. So this is what the transmitter looks like. We've got a variety of different buttons on the front. Number 1, 2, A and B here. those 4 buttons are for pre-programmed moves. So for moves so when you push them, the quadcopter will do a sequence of different moves. We'll look at that a bit more in depth when we take her out. This button in the middle here is for automatic takeoff and automatic landing, obviously in quadcopter mode, not as in plane mode. And then you've got your standard analog sticks. Now you do have altitude hold, as we can see here with this left stick, as it keeps on going back into the middle of the transmitter. You've also got some shoulder buttons. So these 2 shoulder buttons here, L2 and R2, are for changing between quadcopter mode and plane mode. L1 is for U-turn and R1 is for take photo. So that's quite nice. It feels quite weighty. It feels really well put together. Now, this particular transmitter, the batteries are automatically encased within these 2 parts here, so within the left and the right palm parts. So you are going to notice that when you take it out, there is quite a bit of a weight to this. There's a micro USB port underneath. This is the port that you use to charge. There's also a charging LED alongside that as well, so you can see the current status of the charge. And also there is one other thing to add to this. An FPV boom can be fitted. So this is what it looks like. This comes in the packet, and what you do is you have the back part of the FPV boom here slots into the transmitter there. So how that looks is it basically fits together like this, and then you connect the back part of the FPV boom in until it pushes in, and then you've got here, you've got a little thumb screw which then you twist and it connects into the transmitter itself. So that takes a little while to actually screw in. Once it is in, you can be sure that that is going to hold your phone extremely tight, and so you haven't got to worry about it falling off. There's a nice little rubber pad on the bottom there for grip to hold onto your phone. Likewise, at the top of this particular FPV boom, you've got a little bit of foam there as well, so it doesn't scratch your device. That feels quite nice. And there's also one other thing. There you have the on and off button, which is here. There's a black button that you push once and then it flashes Parrot, orange when it comes on and then green when it's ready to be paired, and then you just click and hold and the transmitter turns itself off. That feels nice. That really does feel good in hand. It feels quite thick, but at the same time it's very gamepad-esque. Yeah, that does feel good. I'm looking forward to using that. Okay, so let's put that down as well. There are a couple of accessory bags that come with this particular quadcopter and transmitter, and in one of the bags you're going to have a little battery. The battery itself is for the quadcopter, coming in at 3.7 volt, 550 milliamp hour, about an hour and a half to 2 hours to charge that. In order to charge it, you would connect it directly into the quadcopter. When you connect that battery in, you are going to notice that there are 2 LEDs here which will flash. Once if you want to turn off the quadcopter, then you push and hold this little on and off button here right underneath. That can also turn on the quadcopter also. So then, to carry on, what you would do is plug in your battery into the back, and then plug in your micro USB cable that comes with the package directly into the micro USB cable port there. And then likewise, little micro USB port on the underside of the transmitter, so you can connect that into there and charge it directly as well. So that's another accessory you get. You get one set of 4 propellers, 2 white and 2 black. As you can see, the 2 white go on the back and the 2 black go on the front. And then, as standard, you get 2 manuals, one for the transmitter, or as they call it, the fly pad, and one for the quadcopter, or as they call it, the swing. So there we go. So you get all of that in this particular package. That's pretty good. Alright then folks, well I'm going to hopefully be taking this out in the next couple of days, so please join me then. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time my friends, happy flying.